In this video, I'm going to show you a beautiful house along the Hudson, one of the most beautiful houses in the United States, Olana. Where it's located is getting close to Albany, along the Hudson River, north of New York City, and people come all the time to take very great pictures of Olana, especially if you have a sunny day and the sun is setting to the west, the house faces to the west, and the colors just really come out from all angles. It's just a really great architectural masterpiece. It combines Moorish and Middle Eastern and Victorian styles all in one. So it has its own Wikipedia page, of course, and it was built between 1870 and 1872. This is a view of it from behind the house. The architect or artist who designed the house was famous from the 1800s, Frederic Church, and these are some of his works, including Niagara Falls. This particular painting is now at the Dallas Museum of Art, and it was purchased in the 1970s for $2.5 million. This is another painting that Frederic Church did. He traveled extensively up from South America up to the tip of North America, Labrador and Newfoundland. He went to Europe. He and his wife traveled throughout the Middle East. They went to cities like Beirut and Damascus, Syria, and they got some of their inspiration from the different architectural styles they saw. And this is of a mountain in Ecuador. And he actually did a couple of different paintings of this mountain, Cotopaxi. It's the second tallest mountain in Ecuador, and he has a picture here of it erupting. Very dramatic. So Frederic Church was the resident of the house, and he was a painter, and he was the primary designer of the house, and he worked with Calvert Vaux. People know that name. Calvert Vaux helped Frederic Law Olmsted design Central Park in Manhattan and Prospect Park in Brooklyn, as well as many other landscapes and buildings. And he used Calvert Vaux mostly as a consultant. So the house was passed down through different generations, and then it was going to be sold off, but the state of New York stepped in a couple of days before the deadline and purchased the house and the surrounding property. It has like 250 acres of property. So fortunately, this is during the Nelson Rockefeller administration in the 60s. Here's a close-up picture. I don't recognize most of the people. I do recognize Nelson Rockefeller in the middle. So Frederic Church lived here on the property for 40 years. He also had a residence in New York City, and he got married to his wife Isabel in 1860 in Dayton, Ohio. I don't know why Dayton, Ohio was a key part of their lives. I'm not sure that she was from Ohio, but that's where they were married. And then they came and they built like a small house on the property, and then after 10 years they started to build Olana, the big house, and he purchased more land over time also. So this shows the overall layout of the property just up from the Hudson River, and he had quite the mutton chop sideburns. So where did he get all this money? He did make money from his paintings, but they took a long time to produce. You don't just do that one after the other. It takes like a year for each of his paintings, very large paintings. His dad, Joseph Church, in Hartford, Connecticut, he did very well in the jewelry business. So he funded his son purchasing the property, building the house, and keeping him set financially. And then Frederic Church's wife was 10 years younger, and she worked right along with him to help develop the property and run the household. They also had, tragically, they had two small children that both died of diphtheria, and they were very saddened by it. It happened at the same time. Then they decided to go traveling and try to get away, and then they came back, and then they started a new family with 4 more children. I put Frederic Law Olmsted's picture here. He did not work on the design of the property, but it sort of is in the same beautiful movement of the Hudson River School, the landscape design. And Frederic Law Olmsted, I like the way he termed it. He said he designed things so that the viewer would feel like they were walking into a picture. So that's what Frederic Church, another Frederic, he tried to do that also with the design of the overall landscape of the property. And he built carriageways, and he had a big emphasis on the views from the house looking towards the west across the Hudson to the Catskills. And different times in the past, including the recent past, there have been proposals to build like a nuclear power plant or a coal-fired cement factory that would have been in the viewscape. And the public, fortunately, rose up and said, no, we don't want those spoiling the view. So it actually is a place where they value the views, not just just the actual property itself. I thought that was interesting. Now, Hartford, Connecticut is where Frederic Law Olmsted is from and where he's buried. And it's also where Frederic Church is from and where he's buried in a different cemetery. So thanks to Hartford, we have some beautiful things produced by people from Hartford in New York. So in the back of his house, he continued to build over time. He developed rheumatoid arthritis, so he couldn't paint as well. His right hand was just too crippled, so he actually switched to his left hand to paint, which is amazing that you could still maintain a high quality of painting using your opposite hand. But as the time wore on, he couldn't paint as much, so he switched to just working on his property and adding to it, and he added an artist studio. That's what the large brown framed window is. It's a studio where he could paint, and he also had a studio in Greenwich Village on West 10th Street between 5th and 6th Avenues, which is no longer there. It's been replaced by an apartment building, but he and other major artists of the day had studios in the same building in Manhattan, but they spent most of their time here at Olana. Here's another view of the studio window facing away from the river. I'd rather face it towards the river, but I think he chose this side of the house for the lighting. And when you're there, you can take tours of the house on the interior, and it's fantastic. I've done it once. It gets very popular in the summer, so you might have to make advanced reservations. And one of the neat things about the house is it's as beautiful on the inside as it is on the outside. Very colorful, just fantastic design, and I highly recommend going on the tour of the house to have the complete experience. But this is one of the outer buildings that they've converted into a gift shop and where you buy your tickets if you want to take a formal tour, or you can just walk around the property. So I'm going to show you now me walking around the house and looking at the house from different angles. So thanks for watching, and there'll be another video coming up shortly of nearby Hudson, New York. Thanks for watching. If you come to Hudson, New York, you have to stop at Olana, and it's another historic house, beautiful house. The interior is just fantastic. It's a great tour. We're not going to go in the house today, but I just wanted to stop by here on our way to Hudson. Just fantastic colors. See if I can get out somewhere and walk around it. So if you want to take a tour of the house, you have to get a ticket at the shop here. And I want to see it from around the other side. Let's see if we can see it from that angle. Every angle's a good angle on this house, though. It's looking south down the Hudson. It doesn't get any better than this in New York State or most of the U.S. Just one of my favorite places. I believe Frederic Church is most known for being a painter, but he obviously had an eye for color. And you take an artist and an architect, put them together, wow, what a great combination. Every detail, even that chimney, wow, fantastic. So there's a tour group. I hope they'll let me do a self-guided one here. There's the Hudson. What a backdrop. What colors. The Catskills to the west. Frederic Church in Calvert Vaux. Might be getting a little bit of a renovation. Hopefully before the start of the summer season. Look at the colors. And what a porch. Just the colors. Especially if you're here in the late afternoon, the colors just pop. But I just wanted to give you a flavor. Olana on the Hudson, near Hudson, New York.